Hey, are you one of those so-called badass?
Testimony. Eve called me crying, and man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHaSham, YAHAWASHI, BaHaSham, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Seek honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children that do consist of the 1/3. Shalom, shalom. So, to get a better understanding of what I'm coming from, my situation was, boom, I'm coming from the gym one day. I go to the store. My Eve, who I've known since 2013, okay? She called me once, boom, all right, whatever. I'm in the store, I'll call her, I'll call her back. She called me immediately after she stopped calling me, which, my phone stopped ringing. She called me twice. I'm like, all right, maybe she being kind of cute, like, I miss you, Her nickname she gave me, she called me Papa, Papa Bear, whatever. So then the third time she called me, I'm like, nah, she never done this. So as soon as I get back in the whip, I crank it up, put my AC on. Before I go anywhere, I call her. Hey, what's up? What's going on? She's erratic. She's crying, but the first thing she says to me is, everything's okay. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So why are you crying? Right? So she's telling me she's walking out of her workplace. And I guess this dude, in the whip was, rolled up on her. Start asking her questions and everything, right? Hey, you got a man taking care of you? She like, no. Told him her age, which she's about 35. And she said she gave him a look like, what? Yeah. Like, my Eve, she's on 5'3", about 140 pounds. No makeup, petite. Natural hair, don't wear weave like that. I told her I don't like it. Like, she don't have a ponytail, she got the bunny tail. You know, the Eves, the Judahite woman that actually grows her hair out and take care of her hair. You know what I'm saying? And like, she don't have that long extension Brazilian or East Indian woman, ponytail in her head. But she had like that thick, bushy bunny tail. Yeah, she has one of those. Yeah, I love that. Right? All natural, like no makeup, none of that shit, So if you ever saw her and you work at a liquor store, you will ID her. Cause she look like she could be a junior or a senior in high school or a freshman or a sophomore in college. But she's in her early 30s, like she just had those type of genetics, right? So the dude was like 35, and he was like, listen to him. He said, I got 600. I'm kind of telling you how Jake would tell her. This is what she's telling me on the phone, but remember, at the same time, she's crying. Like, I've never heard her crying like this other than the time she called me at my job and her father was in the hospital doing CD19, the Miley Cyrus. And she told me I didn't want to lose my father. I've known this woman for over a decade, We've been on and off, but I told her, you been with anybody else, don't talk to me. So she ain't been with nobody since then. Right? But that's not the point. So as she's talking to me, she's telling me this happening. And she's erratic. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe he would do that. Oh my God, like he think it's some kind of whore or some harlot, like she cannot believe a man would ever offer her money for sex. Right? I'm like, babe, there's women out here just as attractive as you. There are half OnlyFans, that are prostitutes, that are on porn studios. I said, there's like 7 to 10 women to every man. So there's a plethora of attractive women. But, he saw you because he approached you like that because how many women out here today, right, aren't saying no? There's many who are saying yes, openly admitting that they're harlots and getting compensated for it. What's the oldest profession on the earth? Prostitution, right? So I'm telling her all this stuff on the phone, you know, whatever, whoop de whoop. And I thought about it for the past couple of days. It's probably been what, maybe 2 or 3 days since that call on the phone. Maybe 2 days, maybe going on 3 right now. And I thought about this because when she was on the phone crying, she was telling me, like, she said, when my father was here, I had a hedge. She said, when my father left, I felt like I didn't have no hedge. And she was like, Papa, I wish I could just teleport and be where you are. Because I remember her telling me, when I said, how do I make you feel? This is like years ago. She was like, when I'm with you, I feel protected. Right? So she don't have that protection anymore because her father's gone. Now that her father's, now listen, let me tell you something though. She's the youngest of 8. Mother had 8 children from the same man. 4 boys, 4 girls. She's the baby, the last. Has a lot of class and she has a lot of traditions about herself, but she's still modernized. She got a little talk, a little bit here and there, but she's far from disrespectful, but she got her little sassiness. I like it though. Anyhow, so father not being there, she look at me like that. It's what they call it, abandoned attachment, some kind of whatever you want to call it. Because when she was younger, her father left, but he came back. And she never wanted to make her father play. She told me, you know what I told her? I said, listen here, that's your father. Regardless of what your mother and your father going through, what the Lord say? The Lord say, honor thy father and thy mother. Because she was raised in a Christian-based household. As time went on, she said she actually loved serving her father. Then, lo and behold, COVID-19, CD19 happened. Miley Cyrus happened. And she called me and had that same erratic behavior like she had when that dude had offered her $600 for you know what. And she said she wish she could teleport and be where I am. And I told her, you know what I have? I said, this is why I told you I never wanted you to work if you was still living with me. Because you're supposed to be at home anyway. But because we're living in this modern day society where the women have to work because of feminism, I said, I will pick you up. I said, I had thoughts of if we live together, I would pick you up if you had to work. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. They kind of calm and let her know, this is why I told you that before. You may have felt some type of way, but when this happened, this is why I said you shouldn't be working. You shouldn't be out. But anyway, it's same thing about Esau and the world being all this and that. This was like 7, 8 years ago when I told her that. Now she's talking about Babylon. You know, we know the Babylon going to be destroyed, yada, yada, or whatever. Kim, whether you love this woman, whether you really love these women, bro, man, at the end of the day, man, they're not gonna believe until they see it. That's why I still call my E to this day. But she know she was safe with me, and she really starting to come to the realization this is not a safe freaking world. She even told me this when she was crying. She said, I know people say I'm ditzy, but I said, guess what? I love you for that. Because you green a little bit. You don't really know the word, but that's why I try and teach you, but you didn't want to accept that before because you know what? She was sheltered. Right? So, remember, her father passed away and she said she didn't have no hedge. So the next hedge she saw was me. Because she said she called her brothers before she called me, but none of them picked up. And she told me I was the only one that picked up. They got families though. Lucrative businesses, houses, and everything. Oh, she come from that kind of family. You know, but, you know, I'm just a Jake. Sirach 36, verse 24 through 25. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. That's why I call her my Eve. Where no hedge is, meaning the man, there the possession is spoiled. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Now this is not about talking about having a wife from what I want to speak on. This is talking about that in that precept. But the part where it says where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. So she's my wife, meaning that she's a possession. She know her father, which is a male figure, was her hedge. And she could have easily been taken. Women don't understand. And I'm a man, I say it. It's been women I've seen before. I be like, man, I would snatch her right now. That's why there's the law on grape in the Bible. There are some women that made me lose. I'm like, oh, dang. I'm having heart palpitations right now. Lord, you created something like that? You understand what I'm saying? Nah, I wouldn't dare do it. Nah, she ain't worth it. She ain't worth the baggage. It ain't even worth the time in Eastside society. But what I'm saying is there are women that look like that. But what I'm saying is the father will have to sell his daughter off. So that means she is a possession. But her father's not there anymore, so she feel like she don't have a hedge. And that's why she said she wish she can teleport to me. Why? Because she know. I asked her, like, what is it about me that make you want to be with me, be comfortable with her? But she was like, you protect me. I feel like I'm safe when I'm with you. If me and her is at my siblings' place, I'll be like, hey, babe, let's go. She'll pick up and let's go. Off real. Or she'll be like, can we stay for a little bit more? She'll ask. More demand. That type of woman. So, Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. We're in a quote-unquote civilized society. And as she was crying and being erratic because of how she felt, because she never had a man even offer any money to have sex with her. She felt so violent. She felt violated, right? She knew to call me because she knew I would protect her. This is in a so-called civilized society. Imagine when it's barbaric, Mad Max, teleporting, they gonna run to you. That's why the elders always said, don't worry about your exes, they'll come back to you. But she never been my ex because she never been with nobody for the past 10 years, but whatever. Isaiah 32:2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man gonna be like shelter from a hurricane. A man gonna be like water in a very dry land, very hot, humid day. In a shadow when you're in the midst of the desert, a dystopia, and you have no shelter, you find a wreckage that you can hide behind that'll block the sun from you. That's what we like. In these last days, of course, we shall be like that. You go, man. That's why the elders say you better get with the man of the Lord. They mean that. They mean that. Cause these Negroes out here, man, look how they treat you now. They went into dog eat dog world, and all BITCHESs get FUCKED'd. What do you think a man gonna do to you in that day? Being 100. I got pulled up by the police 2 nights ago because I had blue headlights on my car. You know what I told the woman, the female officer? I said, you shouldn't be. I said, no woman shouldn't be out this late. You should be at home making biscuits. Man, I got more on that too. I'm gonna leave it alone though. Let me close out. Isaiah 13, chapter 11. Oh yeah. Even though I agree with my adversary, I gave him information, all this and that. I already told him I've been pulled over before about this. Ain't got no fellas, ain't got no drugs, I don't smoke, ain't nothing, whatever. Out. Boom. I still told him the truth. You shouldn't be out here this late. We should be at home making biscuits. Yeah. Anyhow. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11 through 12. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Let that sink in. So, money will have no value in a lawless society. So gold will mean nothing in a lawless society. Think about the movie, The Book of Eli. But what has more value than all of that? A man. Not just any man, a man of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Because if we're in these last days and we're out here looking for salvation and mercy from the Lord, do you really think we're gonna just throw our conscience aside and act like a nigga? Not in the name of the Lord, right? But a woman will realize the true value of a man. That's why I made this video. She come from like a conservative Christian-based society. Like I'm talking about, like she even told me what she wore. She was like, "Pop," she said, "Papa, I wore some jeans. I had some. She mentioned some kind of garment. When women start naming garments they wearing, you know they know how to dress. And she said, I wore this that covered my butt and this and that, yada, yada, yada. And then she told me what the dude said. And she was so radical that she said she could teleport to me and be with me. Why? Because she know I make her feel safe. So women, humble yourselves. With that being said, please edify and fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent, come at your Allah, one from above, shalom.